Dorothy, thank you for being here to have this conversation about your life and your life in all areas, but really especially on your faith journey.
I hope I remember my life.
I have every confidence. You'll remember the parts that are important and that you want to share. When you reflect on your early life of faith, who or what most shaped your understanding of God?
Well, I started out as a Christian Scientist. My mother and my grandparents on that side were all ardent Christian Scientists. So I suppose it sounds rather odd, but I suppose Mary Baker Eddy was certainly the founder of Christian Science, was certainly the first influence of that kind on my life. I was an ardent little Christian Scientist.
Say more about what that means.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know this, but they do not believe that the material world exists. It's an illusion. And so there really is no such thing as illness or any of that, or accident. And if you have any kind of physical problem, it's a misconception. And if you can rid your mind of that misconception, then you will, of course, be fine. And I did have a healing. I got what the rest of the world would have called whooping cough when I was a little girl. And I made out a little card that said, "There is no spot where God is not." And I put it on my dresser. And would you believe it, in 4 or 5 weeks, I was healed. My mother would send me to school every Monday morning, and the school nurse would send me right back home. But my Sunday school teacher was very pleased with me.
So from that part of your life
Yes.
until a time closer to coming to St. John's, what did that part of your journey look like?
Well, I found out at age 12 that my mother no longer believed in Christian Science. And believe me, it's hard enough to believe in it if your mother does. If she doesn't, forget it. Her father had died in Christian Science, never seeing a doctor. And it just destroyed her. But she sent me to Sunday school for the next two years without telling me. But one night I had a friend over for a sleepover, and I was showing her Science and Health, which is the handbook of Christian Science. And at the end, there is like an appendix with healings. And I showed my friend all these remarkable healings, even a tail put back on a squirrel. Anyway, she was skeptical. And so I said, well, my mother will tell you that it's all true. So we went into my mother's bedroom, and I explained that I had been showing my friend the appendix, and my mother said, "It's all a lie." And there went Christian Science out of my life. As I say, if she couldn't believe in it, I certainly couldn't either. So I had no spiritual life or faith from age 10 to age 12. Age 12 until I met Jeff Greene, who was a lifelong parishioner of St. John's. He was a vestryman at one point. He was treasurer. He brought me to a service here in 1950, which is a day or so ago. And he once said to me in later years, "I brought you into my church and now you've taken it over." But yes, there was that hiatus when I don't know, one time I lit some can. I tried to regain a spiritual life, but of course the rug had been yanked out from under me. But gradually I became more and more involved at St. John's through Jeff. I didn't go to church for some years, and people thought he was either a widower or a divorced man. But just bit by bit, Hillary, my daughter, younger daughter Hillary, became the first girl acolyte at St. John's. And I became the only adult acolyte at the time. We later had one other woman who did become one. And I became an acolyte. Then I became what was called a lay reader, but we now call
lectors or readers. Yeah, now.
Yeah, and then I felt as if I were physically and spiritually moving closer and closer to the altar. And I did go to Union for a semester, not with any idea at the time of becoming a priest, but just because I was becoming more and more interested in a spiritual life. My famous story, at least to me, I went to a church fair about 15 years before I became ordained. I had no idea of being ordained. And I went to this church fair, and I had just started wearing glasses. And I went up to a counter, and there were plaques of Jesus. What is the word for the
icons? No.
Icons. Yes. So there was a small icon, and Jesus was there holding an open book. And I couldn't read because I didn't have my new glasses with me. I couldn't read what the book said. And I went home and whipped out the new glasses, and it said, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." And chills went down my spine, and it was another 15 years, but bit by bit, and I joined the Altar Guild. Ken McKenzie, the rector, used to ask women to join the Altar Guild, and I did that, and I was a 2-term president of the Altar Guild. As I say, I was moving closer and closer to the altar. Anyway.
And then the rest is history. You went
Yes.
to seminary. You went to seminary.
Yes, I went to Union Seminary. It took me years. I went half-time. I went 2 days a week, and it took me years before I graduated, and then I entered the ordination process, much to my family's horror. The children, I think, must have thought I was going to have them pray all the time. And Jeff was opposed to it, too, at first. And then he became my biggest fan. He told me how to work a room. Anyway, but I've always just been at St. John, except on Cape Cod. I have done ministry there. I did primarily a nursing home ministry.
And then you've served at churches as like a supply or an interim.
Yes, I have mostly been a supply clergy. I've never really had my own parish. Jeffrey wouldn't allow me.
Pack your bags and move to another place. So that's a great transition into this part. So out of your many years at St. John's,
just 70 or so.
Well, if only you had more experience, I could ask you this question. But what has remained constant, and what changes have most shaped the life of the parish and the community?
It's a very different. In the 70s, church was just filled to the gills every Sunday, and I remember on Good Fridays, people would come and go all afternoon. It was really quite amazing. And then as the years went by, it began to taper off.
Because of the world.
Yeah.
And all the choices.
Yes, yeah. And of course, our 3 children went to St. John's. My younger daughter, Hillary, became an Episcopal deacon. And the other 2 were atheists. No, they would object to that.
They were not atheists. They were not practicing Christians. But they were very good,
and
had the same morals.
agnostics, I
Yeah.
think they would describe
Right.
themselves as.
So what do you think has changed the most? Like if you were asked.
Attendance,
Right,
number
right,
one.
right. And then.
It's an eternal faith. I don't see it change. No, of course, you're our first woman rector. It took us a long time to get to that point. I have known every rector except the very first one. That's how old I am.
Yeah. And you've served with all of them.
Yeah, oh yes. They never knew what to do with me. Yeah, and when we would get a new rector, I wonder what role I will play, because it did so depend on the rector's personality and feelings about ordained women, especially me.
Well, you were early-ish, if you think about it. I mean, in the life of the women of the priesthood.
Yes,
you were pretty early.
Yes.
I mean, within the first decade.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I'm not giving them any excuses, but I'm just putting it in the time content. Yeah.
My friend Jackie used to say, George doesn't give you enough respect. He doesn't have you doing enough, which had some truth to it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they were not antagonistic quite.
I love that. When the church is at its best, what draws people in and what sustains their commitment, both in participation and support over time?
I think you have to interview them, not me.
Hey, sassy.
I think for a lot of people, it primarily provides community, not so much the heavy spiritual stuff, but just the being together with other people in a definitely worthy cause. When Jeff died of cancer, St. John's was the saving grace of my widowhood. Everybody was lovely, and it gave. By then, I had just become a priest in '88, and he died in '89. So he did live to see me ordained. He got over all his considerations against it. But it gave me this ongoing community and a reason for being, really. I had a role to play. So
you're still carrying out that role very well.
Well, less and less so, but yeah, it was the saving grace of my widowhood, without question. St. John's is a wonderful community of people, and with our woman rector, we're just over the top.
Well, that's a great segue, because what I'd like to ask you is, can you share a moment or experience that being a woman was either a hindrance, or if you felt excluded because of, or you felt specifically included because, because you're a trailblazer. So
yeah, to some extent.
Yeah.
Women were always very enthusiastic, but the reactions varied from one woman saying, I kept waiting for the priest to come at the service. Yeah. And then I had many people saying, it meant the world to us, particularly Catholic women, to see a woman at the altar. I don't know if that.
Do you remember, can you recall a moment where it was really, like you saw the Philadelphia 11 movie, and you had some memories about Boston, and that's seismic. That's a seismic experience, but I'm sure there were also little things here at St. John's that were equally as meaningful and maybe seismic in our own little corner of this world?
I suppose just being a woman and suiting up and taking part as a cleric.
I would say, what about Liz Slosser's wedding? No, it was not. It was Ben Slosser's wedding.
Who?
Ben Slosser. When you
Oh,
served.
yes. My lifelong friend Jackie's son Ben married a Catholic at St. Augustine's, and Jackie was determined that I be in that wedding, and the priests were not happy with it. At one point, they were talking about plans for the service, and they said, well, at communion, what are we going to do with Mrs. Greene?
And you've been a last vested woman. You were the only vested
I'm
woman.
the only woman, yes, yeah. And they didn't know where to put me to dress. I mean, it's not like you strip naked before you put on your... They were not happy with me. And the other thing Jackie did was, at the reception, she had me say grace. She was a big champion of me. It was
was that perseverance? Was that, was that just determination, stubbornness on your part, faith? I'm going to do this? No, I mean, where did you get that inner strength?
Well, it was the example of and you just wanted to show people that women could do priestly things, and it would be meaningful for her and them. It was so much in the news at the time, and it was so heartening to all of us of the female persuasion.
I bet that's also off script, but I bet that's also a really strong community.
Yes.
Right? Because
yes.
It's still a thing, which is silly, but it is. And,
I mean, to think I'm the first one on record. And
right.
St. John's is really out there. Yeah.
And that was one of the first things when I came here, I noticed.
Oh.
You and how many important women were moving around in the church. That was something that I really noticed. Yeah.
Yes, I was on the crest of a wave there. And as I say, I had such heartfelt response from Catholic women at Ben Schlosser's wedding and reception. It just warmed the cockles of their heart.
No,
you stay there.
Why am I staying there? Oh, I am staying there because I have a next section.
No, this is so great.
So we needed that.
Do you wanna, or where?
We're here.
Okay. Oh, she had to.
Oh, that's perfect. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, no. One of the things that I'm most interested in, Dorothy.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Many. But was there ever a time in your years here that you ever felt that you wanted to step away from the church?
No.
You talk about that as when you were younger and you took that step. So once you were in this community, did you ever have a moment?
I had come home.
Yeah.
And because, as I said, I was really an ardent Christian Scientist. Mm-hmm. So to have that spiritual vacuum for all those years when I got to St. John's, and that vacuum was filled to overflowing,
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and with her brilliant mind, she just took it all in.
Most definitely. I guess another question really would be, was there, you had a most difficult truth that you had to hold on and work through, like as far as like an institution is concerned. Like, do you, we're Episcopalians, and I know we're all proud Episcopalians here at St. John's, but how do you always remain to have that faith?
Well, the contrast between Christian Science and any other denomination is just huge. So that my mother couldn't make the switch really because there's a lot of ceremonial, particularly to the Episcopal Church. I think I'm wandering off the topic, but
Is there any subject that came up? Women's ordination, obviously you were all in.
in favor
But-
of, yes.
But all the next changes, as far as Gene Robinson and as far as
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Burr, are there any things that made
I
it
had-
hard for you?
No, I admired the Episcopal Church for being so liberal, and I've agreed so far with everything it's done.
Right.
It's a great privilege to be part of the Anglican communion.
And that's, thinking about all of the webs and the barriers that have kind of been, walked through, broken, torn open.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'd love to hear you tell us about is we are in a wonderful faith community with lots of different churches or temples. And I'm sure
yes.
you will hear from people, they'll say, oh, you're maybe Episcopalian, you're Catholic light.
Oh,
I
yes.
would love to know what you think about that phrase, because it stings.
Actually, I love ceremonial. I love everything. That was one of the things because, as I say, Christian Science is so stark, and there's not even a choir. And there are two readers, the first reader and the second reader, and they sit up front and they lead the service, but it's just kind of blah. You just had to believe blindly, and I just love all the pomp and circumstance. And in fact, I was disappointed that George Zabriskie was so low church. he didn't want to wear
Chasuble.
a chasuble even. He was so low church, but we talked him into it. But
When he still
I
did
bet
communion
you talked him
each week.
into it. You probably talked him into it.
well, we all pressed for it. But yeah, I think he thought it was too Catholic. But
Right.
So do you see the Episcopal Church as Catholic light or no?
yes.
Yeah.
What would be a good adjective for it? Good Catholic? Catholic light?
Yeah, Catholic light. I think
Yeah.
people mean it in a good way. Most of the time. You're being interviewed. But I
That's a
think,
lot of salaries.
yeah. No, but I don't think it's an insult
No,
necessarily as much as
I
it is
certainly-
like it feels familiar, but you have more freedom. That's Catholic. light.
Yeah, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So what, in thinking of things like that, this is a great perspective. What is the advice that you would give to us youngins?
Oh.
I just think,
Come to church every Sunday. That's a huge difference. When my children were little, you didn't ask the children if they wanted to go to Sunday school. It was just like regular school. It was just automatic. Every Sunday morning, you got all dressed up and you went to church. And because it took me 7 years to get through Columbia after I was married, I had only 1 year at Smith before I was married. And I would take Sunday mornings to study. And so for a long time, I didn't go regularly to church until Ken McKenzie. My father was dying of emphysema and was not an Episcopalian. And Ken went to visit him quite frequently in the hospital. And so to repay him for his kindness and his attention to my father, I made a vow to go to church every Sunday. And from that time on, I did, unless there was some good reason why I couldn't. And my daughter, the deacon, likes to make fun of me because she said I would be home studying for college, for Columbia, and while they were all in church. And people did think Jeff was a widower or divorced. So that when Ken McKenzie asked me to join the Altar Guild, I had not been at all active, not even attending regularly. And so that was a real turning point. I'm sure Ken didn't realize it at the time, but I just got deeper. I felt like I had put my toe in the water, and then I went out deeper and deeper into the water until I became a priest. Yeah.
Is that what you would say, like if you were to give advice? You know, I feel that the world right now is so busy, and we have so much technology and so much information at our fingertips. How do we make sure, do you think, is that what you're saying? We also think that coming to church, that community.
Yeah, it should just be built into family life, that it's taken for granted. Of course we're going to church on Sunday. And we had to buy a suit at Macy's for my son every year, and he hated it. But as I say, it was such a strong fiber in our marriage and in our parenthood, and it took with one of the three, with Hillary ending up a deacon. And the other two, although, as I say, they claim not to be Christians, they lead Christian lives. They just don't know it.
When you think about the thread of your life, is there a special prayer or a mantra that comes to your mind that kind of weaves throughout?
Yes, this is the problem with my memory at 95. Maybe it'll come to me later. Yes, there definitely is a quote, if I can find it in my mind.
No.
Okay.
Which section are you in?
I'm on a hot seat.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. All right, you ready? This is gonna be fun.
I want to circle that.
Okay.
I don't think I sound very reverent.
What did you say?
I don't think I sound very reverent.
Oh, you do.
And believe me, my faith is so strong. When my daughter Kim died, I didn't blame it on God. God doesn't take life; God receives it, and it was a great comfort to me to know that she was with my husband, having a drink, no doubt. But I don't think of my faith as showing much, but it's rock solid. I don't doubt for a moment that I'm going to be with Jeff and Kim again. Yeah.
Okay. Priest on a hot seat. Favorite things edition. This is the inaugural time of this, but I believe this will be carried on throughout. Okay. What is the favorite part of the liturgy?
Oh, receiving communion. No, dispensing communion, actually. Yeah. I love doing the bread. And it's so interesting, people's reactions. Some people look at you and smile, some people don't. And of course, there's the occasional Catholic that you have to put it in the mouth of, which is different. Yeah, no, communion is so precious and important.
Do you have a favorite hymn?
What is the one I'm going to have?
Abide.
With me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
It's going to be played at my funeral.
Mm-hmm.
How about favorite Old Testament story?
We actually did learn some in Christian Science. They told, yes, we learned some Bible. I think there was a picture of Daniel on the lion den, in the lion den, and that made a big impression on me as a child. In fact,
It's right there.
It's
To
yeah.
the right of the door.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
So I think that must be my favorite story. And I love Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because they had their hats on.
In that fiery.
Yes, in the fiery furnace.
Style points, yeah. Okay, how about favorite New Testament story?
Oh, the road to Emmaus. In fact, Jeff and I never said spiritual things to each other. That sounds funny, but I mean, we did not talk a lot about our faith, and his was obviously very deep. But the one thing I remember is saying to me that I was not on the road to Damascus, I was on the road to Emmaus. And I've never forgotten that, because I didn't recognize that Christ was right there with me. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite season of the church year?
Easter, by far. Yeah. Yes.
Favorite coffee hour treat?
Oh my.
Yeah, these are hard hitting.
Yeah, I can tell. It can't be anything sweet because I have diabetes in my old age.
Deviled
For a
eggs.
deviled egg?
Yeah, deviled eggs. We're all thinking deviled eggs.
No. No deviled egg.
deviled
No
eggs.
deviled egg.
No, I don't like deviled eggs. So, it's heresy.
All right, we have to come back to that then. I know the answer to this, but favorite outdoor activity?
Sailing.
Yes.
Sailing. Yes. Oh.
How about favorite book genre, book and or author?
I like nonfiction. I like biography a lot. Now you're going to ask me what one. Okay. Yeah. No, I love to read. I've always been a reader from the time I was little.
He's also a published poet.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But only published in those publications that publish poets who are not published.
Gotta be somewhere.
How about favorite movie or TV show?
I do know. Oh, shoot. That's the problem with a 95-year-old memory.
Okay. Well, also there's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to
Sorry.
that. How about favorite flower?
I like white roses. I also like colored flowers too, though. So that's not very.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, blue, without question.
And then favorite saying or life lesson you learned as a child that you still believe rings true? As I'm looking at Daniel over there.
Oh. Gosh, that's a deep one.
Well, we brought it back from the flowers and the colors.
Oh. I can't think offhand.
That's a tough one.
I was a very devout little Christian Scientist.
With those squirrels and their tails.
Thinking about all of this, Reverend Dorothy, what do you think has ultimately mattered the most to you when you think of yourself, and more so even, how would you hope that people always think of you?
Oh, heavens. Well, the most important thing in the life, in the world, is love. It's the strongest force, and it's what we should be exchanging with each other all the time. And I have a philosophy that everybody's doing the best they can at the time, even when it's something terrible. There's some reason. Sometimes something goes badly wrong with a person and they end up being a murderer or whatever. But and forgiveness is a big thing with me. I have no problem forgiving. It's not up to me to judge somebody. I float it, I call it, float it, send it up to God to judge their action. And I just think people somehow on some level are trying all the time to be what they were created to be. But that is not always possible for them for what reasons I don't know, but God does. And I think people are wonderful.
Well, on that, and thinking about Reverend Lisa, your sermon this past week, and we're talking about how often children share it, but we as grown-ups should be sharing it more. What is your idea of heaven?
What is it to be with Jeff and Kim? My daughter Hillary's partner said that Jeff got tired of waiting for me. It was taking too long. So he got Kim until I get there.
If you had a prayer for St. John's, what would it be? If you had a prayer for St. John's.
For St. John's, that we continue having women rectors. Just that it continue on the path that is always pursued. I think it's a great institution, a great church.
Erin has a question she's looking for.
We just want to make sure we have every ounce of advice that you possibly could give us. So, in that sense, what is the advice that you give to us as we go through these challenging times that we're in, but also where are we going to be finding the light?
Well, I wish everybody would love and forgive each other primarily, and help in any way you can. Help one another to live out the love that Jesus personifies. I think human beings are great.
We think you're pretty great too.
I mean, if you want to circle back to the TV show or Flower.
No, we got the flower.
You got the flower. The TV show and the movie.
I know. Well, these were the questions that we were all looking at. If you want to keep them just for fun.
Oh yes, thank you. You covered a lot.
Well, we want to thank you for you.
Yes.
You were a great blessing to
Well,
all of us.
everybody makes me feel very appreciated. I play a role at St. John's, just from sheer length of being here, that it's hard for me to see myself through I'm going all over the place with this.
Okay.
It's hard for me to see me the way you all see me. You give me too much credit, I think.
No.
Yeah. No, it's as I say, it was the saving grace of my widowhood, and a great help when Kim died. Yeah. And I will be with them again.
Yes.
And Jackie.
Yeah.
Too. Her mother and my mother met when they were pregnant with us. That's how far back I went with Jackie. She has left such a hole in my life. I mean, she was my first best friend. We were neighbors. We just have a long history. And I knew one of us had to die first, and I used to wonder what that would be like. It's awful. I miss her terribly. Yeah, but I'll see her too. So.
Right.
You probably find yourself talking to her.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I think about my daughter Kim all the time. She's going to come for me when the time comes. I'm going to look up, and she's going to say, "Hello, Bat." That my children call me Bat. It started out as Wombat. The Wombat's a cute animal. But then Kim was in high school when she started calling me first Wombat and then Mom Bat, and then the mom got dropped off. So I'm Bat to my children. but
You carry it well.
but she'll say hello
You're getting
back.
ready to go venture to the Cape. So tell us, what are a couple of your favorite things you're gonna do, that you have plans to do?
The Cape is not the same to me anymore because Kim died there, so it's a mixed bag now.
Yeah.
But I have a lovely house there. My son lives diagonally across the street. Hillary lives not too far away, and yeah.
And you have 2 churches.
Yes, I have a UCC church I go to in West Ennis, the town I live in, and then the Episcopal St. David's in South Yarmouth. They have a woman rector.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's...
So you're a church hopper.
Yes, I am. And at one point I was going to 3 churches because I went to Hillary's church on the Cape too. It's very strange and difficult being 95. I'll just tell you all this. Because you don't know who you are anymore. You're not the person who played tennis and sailed and didn't walk with a cane, all kinds of things. So you're constantly trying to see yourself as you now are and how that relates to who you were before. And when you suffer a blow, it's I can't get into that.
You have you go to another church too.
Which
that
one?
happens to be paces away from your house.
Yes, I have a chapel, St. Elmo by the Marsh. St. Elmo is the patron saint of sailors. And it's a little building, and we have she's my co-owner, co-proprietor.
That's right, we're co-proprietors of the chapel.
Yeah, but it has an altar, and Lisa and I have services out there, and
we even have a sanctuary lamp.
yes, yeah. It's a lovely little. It's really a tool shed, you know, but not. It's St. Elmo's to us. I said yes. We have services. At one point, I was doing it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. And I said, Kim and her husband used to have a lot of friends come and stay for a while. And I said to Kim one time, you know, I'd be happy to have any of your friends come for one of our little services. And she said, well, I asked them, but there were no takers.
No, it's beautiful.
We were equally indulgent she of my religiosity and my of her lack thereof.
Yes, you did have a great understanding.
Yes, yes. Lisa knew Kim. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Is there anything you were hoping we would ask that we didn't?
No. And if I ever think of a movie or I'll let you know.
That's relative. I mean, even 30 years is a long time. Yeah. She's really good about that. Yeah. Very good about that.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do more of that.
It really helps. I do morning and night.
It's important to do some little thing during
Right.
the day. Just say,
Yeah.
oh, God, even.
Yeah.
What's up, God?
I remember when I was little, we had just I had this little prayer book that I had gotten from church, but it was like they made it, you know,
Right,
it was like very
yeah.
basic. But I recently had stumbled across something similar, but I don't know if kids are still like thinking it when they're going to sleep at night or they're doing different things. Like just say your prayers before you go to sleep.
Well, again, it goes back to the
All of these
family.
little-
Right. It
Like
goes back
that
to
was
your
part
habit.
of us
Yeah.
going to sleep.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
Oh,
you
I-
say your prayers and then go to bed. Close the door.
Did I say that when I had Hope and Cuff, I made the card that said there is no spot?
Yes, you did say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
No, because, but wait, but you, it's a, what's it called, a demonstration?
Yes,
Hmm.
in Christian Science,
It's a
when you
demonstration.
overcome an illness or
Hmm.
an injury, it's a demonstration of your faith.
I feel like I need to learn more about that
Oh,
because
It's
I
a
just-
fascinating.
well, just because especially using the Christian Science name alone.
I've read
together.
it, she has some amazing books, but I've read it a little bit about it.
My grandfather, grandmother, and aunt all died in Christian Science. They never
Mhm.
saw a doctor.
And they all died early, imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, not early, but like, earlier than they could have.
Earlier
Right, than they should have, yeah. Yeah.
That came up a little bit during COVID in our school because there were children whose families wouldn't vaccinate them. And we had a hard mandate and they were on Zoom, and then when we stopped Zoom, they had to find other schools.
Yeah, I was not vaccinated when we lived in Larchmont, but when we moved to Durashell, I had to get vaccinated, and I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me in school
Right.
unless I'd been vaccinated.
And you loved school.
Yes.
You would do anything to school.
Teacher's pet.
So you said you went to Smith for a year before getting married.
Yes, I dropped out of Smith in my sophomore year, and that's when I met Jeff Greene. He says I was
Where?
the last woman left in Larchmont.
Teasingly, of course. And you're sensible.
I was like,
That's the other thing he said, I was sensible. I didn't want a lot of jewelry.
right.
And they were both Phi Beta Kappas.
And Kim was too.
And Kim was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So many interesting things.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. My favorite Kim story, the kindergarten story.
You have to tell that story. It's a great story.
The first day Kim went to kindergarten, I went to pick her up at noon, and I go in the classroom, and all the children are prancing around being ponies, and Kim is sitting on a little chair, and she's crying. And I went over to her, and I said, Kim, what's the matter? She said, we didn't learn anything.
That's great. Oh my God. That's great.
She became a lawyer.
Yeah.